You've got just over a week to make your voice heard in Colorado's primary election. Tonight, we introduce you to the candidates running in Colorado's 8th Congressional District, which stretches from the northern edge of the Denver Metro, all the way to Greeley.
State Representative Manny Rutinel and former State Rep Shannon Byrd are running in the Democratic primary. The winner of that race will face off against the incumbent Republican Gabe Evans. Denver 7 political reporter Colette Bordelon sat down with each of those candidates, and she has their final pitches to you.
It's arguably the race to watch this year, with one of the most competitive congressional districts in the entire country, right here in Colorado. I'm talking about the 8th Congressional District. It was drawn up in 2021 and stretches all the way from the Thornton area to Weld County. Right now, the seat is held by Republican Gabe Evans. Do you believe that they will keep you in Congress? And if they do, what is your promise to these voters?
Yes, I believe they'll keep me in Congress because we've delivered on what we said we were going to deliver. We are working in Congress as Republicans to lower the cost of living and keep America safe.
Did you always want to go into politics?
I've always been interested in politics, but as you said, 12 years in the Army, 10 years in law enforcement. It really started when I watched cops become the bad guy in Colorado.
We asked Evans about his time so far in Congress, specifically about immigration.
In Congress, bipartisan fashion, I'm engaged in a lot of different bills to secure the border, get the bad guys. We have no tolerance for bad guys, but we have to have a workable path for folks that are trying to do things the right way.
And about how his yes vote on H.R. 1 impacts Medicaid.
We are working to put more money into it, to take care of the truly vulnerable folks, but to make sure the money gets where it belongs instead of disappearing into, again, one of the worst administered programs in the nation.
There's two Democrats hoping they'll be picked this primary to square off against Evans in November. One of them is State Representative Manny Rutinel.
I remember being 10 years old the first time I was filling out Medicaid forms and food stamp forms, and so for me this is a really personal fight against the Trump administration.
What about your past personal or professional experience do you believe has prepared you to potentially be the next member of Congress from Colorado?
In the 31 years that I've been on this planet, I've been able to work at McDonald's, I've mowed lawns, I've painted walls, I sold my blood at a plasma center over 100 times to the point where I've got a scar on my arm. Then I became an economist with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, where I swore an oath to defend our Constitution against enemies, both foreign and domestic. And then I became an attorney to take on large corporations that were trying to profit by hurting working people.
What policies would you promise to work on?
I will prioritize bringing back Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. I will put an end to these corrupt tariff policies that Donald Trump is using to be able to enrich himself and his family and raising prices across the board.
Shannon Byrd, a former member of Colorado State Legislature, is the other Democrat who wants to take Evans' seat.
As a member of the state legislature, I'm most proud of writing the budget and carrying the legislation that finally fully funded Colorado's public schools for the first time in 15 years.
Where would you say you fall on that spectrum of the Democratic Party?
I'm a pragmatic Democrat who believes in delivering.
Congressional District 8, it's thought of as one of the most competitive districts in the country. Why are you running in this district?
This seat will determine who holds the majority in Congress. And right now, Republicans have a very narrow margin of members in the U.S. House of Representatives. Colorado's 8th for Democrats is pivotal to flipping control of the U.S. House and providing more balance at a federal level.
If you were elected to Congress, what would you do?
One of the first pieces of legislation I want to get to work on is restoring the affordable health insurance affordability tax credits. Those are tax credits that helped people when they're purchasing their health insurance on the exchange to keep those affordable and make sure families could afford to purchase their health insurance.
Voters in CD8 have just about a week to decide who they want to see on the November ballot. Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
You'll see a third name on the ballot if you're voting in the Democratic primary. Evan Munsing dropped out of the race, but his name will still be on the ballot. And remember, if you're an unaffiliated voter, you can pick which primary ballot you fill out, but you can't vote in both.